This is the Hollywood Outsider, a weekly movie and TV podcast with a new episode every Thursday. And this week we are going to look at upcoming releases, including The Lone Ranger and Despicable Me 2, spoiler-free reviews of World War Z and The Way, Way Back. Our From the Outside In topic this week, zombies! Favorite zombie kills, flicks, what we want to see next, and most importantly, are we sick of zombies yet?
Brains.
The latest in movie, send more cops. Latest in movie and TV news, including our own trivia segments. My name is Aaron Peterson. With me today are my fellow host, Scott Clark.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Excellent day. Brian Williams. That was French, I think.
That was Spanish?
Yeah.
Hey, man, what's up?
That was Spanish, too. And Justin McCumber.
Hey, Aaron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I wish we could have kept our original intro. Oh, the intro we could never share. How's everybody doing?
Doing all right, man.
We recently, our After Hours 3 episode with myself, Scott, and Justin is up on the website. You should check it out. If you like, what?
Y'all are up.
Yes. What? I have no idea what you guys just said.
I was making fun of your bad grammar.
Yeah, we're just making fun of you, man. It's all good.
I appreciate that. It's all about video games, so, Scott loves that episode.
Please listen.
Yeah, check that out. And also, our 100th episode is coming up in 2 weeks. This is actually episode 99. But in 2 weeks, we're going to have our 100th episode. Next week, we're going to have like 99.5.
Whoa. This is episode what?
99.
And why does the format say episode 98?
Because I wrote it.
Because you're a fuck. Oh, God damn it.
Lazy.
I got 99 episodes, but a bitch ain't one.
Episode 100 will be in 2 weeks. Next week.
Have you guys seen all those pictures?
Are you going to let me finish?
No. Hold on. Of a lot of these couples who get these matching jerseys and shit, where on the back of the guys it'll say 99 problems, and on the back of the woman's it'll say not one.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's
I always
great.
think those are cute.
Yeah, that's adorable. I would like to see.
Finish your crap.
Sorry. I would like to see one where it said, "I am the one."
More honest one.
Yes. Next week we will have like 99.5, just a mini episode, followed by some best of clips. So check that out. And then the following week we're gonna have our 100th episode. So here's what I wanted to say. Anybody that listens, regular listeners or recent listeners, whoever you are, email us any thoughts or favorite moments from the show, and everybody that emails us with your favorite moments or bits are going to be put into a drawing where you can win one of 3 Amaho t-shirts. Sounds cool, right? Okay, you guys are on the show. You can sound a little bit more excited.
Is that our cue? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Applause,
wow, that's
Roz.
Awesome.
I could offer up a free book or something if anybody was interested, but it's not assured.
Hey.
God knows you've got a lot of them sitting around.
Fucking tell me about it, bro.
The email is God, you guys are awful. The email is feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. Fucking idiots.
Feel the love in this room.
All right, speaking of love, Jim Carrey has what looks like the best and most interesting role he's had, and I can't even tell you since when, in Kick-Ass 2. And apparently, he just renounced all of it because of the violence, because of Sandy Brook, or that's what he's claiming, whatever. The director countered with he read the script aside, which meant, hey, he read the entire script, so I don't know what he's complaining about. Justin, what the hell is wrong with Jim Carrey? Is he trying to get attention? Is that what this is, or is this serious?
Well, first let me say that, Jim Carrey really needs to go fuck himself. This is absolutely ridiculous. Even if I believed for 1 second, which I don't, but even if I believed that he actually did feel like Kick-Ass 2 was too violent and that after Sandy Hook he changed internally and now that level of violence isn't something he wants to be associated with, he has had from December when Sandy Hook occurred, which they had been filming. In fact, they did Kick-Ass 2 a month before Sandy Hook. So he had December, January, all the way to now to say something about it. He didn't say shit up until near when the movie is coming out, which to me screams nothing but I am an attention-seeking whore. My career is flagging, and I will do whatever it takes to get some attention from the media. That's all this is. It has nothing to do with the violence, and it has nothing to do with him having a change inside. It is bullshit, and he really needs to go fuck himself because now he's trying to throw everyone he worked with under the bus. Of course, he says, my apologies to others involved with the film. I'm
Yeah.
not ashamed of it, but recent events have caused a change in my heart. So he's apologizing to all the people that he's really just trying to throw under a bus to get himself a little more attention.
Isn't this bullshit?
It's bullshit, and he needs to fuck off.
Well, yeah.
Did you say Sandy Brook?
Sandy Hook.
Sandy
No,
Hook,
no,
Brooke.
Aaron.
Hey, I wasn't there. I
He
don't know
did.
what's
I
about
wasn't going to
Just down the road.
mention it.
this. Hey, don't correct me. I
I'm used
wasn't
to
part
him
of it.
It's
screwing
kind of a
shit
big deal, man.
I don't work in education, Scott.
Seriously, if he if he had a problem with violence before the Sandy Hook incident, then he would have made the movie.
He should be apologizing for Batman Forever, not for this shit.
That's
all I'm
a
Should be
saying.
good point.
apologizing for Burt Wonderstone.
I haven't seen it, but according to Scott,
I
that's true
agree.
too.
Yeah.
I think this is just one of those things where either he's completely lost his mind or he is a total whore. Because you fucked everybody that worked so hard on this movie. And I'm not saying the movie's great. I have no idea. It could suck.
See, I can't say total whore because, like what Justin said, his
98% whore?
His career hasn't done a whole lot in the past several years. He did Burt Wonderstone. What else has he done since before that? That was
The last thing he did was that Penguin movie.
yeah,
That-
Mr. Popper's Penguins, right?
Yeah. That
So-
was a cinematic delight.
And so Kick-Ass 2 is coming along, and all of a sudden he has a chance to be in the big spotlight again. I don't. You guys, we've all seen the trailer.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was Jim Carrey until halfway.
I
through
think
the
a lot of
trailer.
people didn't, yeah. When he popped up and they were like Jim Carrey.
And so I think this feels a lot like him being like, you know what? Hey, I'm in this movie. If you didn't see the
you
second
think he's
half
bringing
of the trailer,
attention to it?
it really feels like it. I can't say
That's a
for
good call,
certain.
Scott.
Yeah, that's very possible.
So
Well, that he's doing this for the betterment of the film's awareness?
Oh, for his awareness.
hey,
Well,
we-
yeah, that's what I meant by
because
being a
it's-
total fucking whore.
No,
He wants
what's-
that attention from the media.
Scott's point is that a lot of people don't realize that's Jim Carrey. So what he's doing is drawing the attention to him so that they realize whenever they're watching it that I'm watching Jim Carrey.
I got you.
the real question to me is though, is this Jim Carrey doing this?
You
or
should
is
totally
this,
be soaking up Brian defending you right now.
I know it feels good.
Okay,
I really
now you
like
can
it.
continue your
Keep
point.
going, Brian. Is this Jim Carrey himself doing this, or is this the
No, it's Jim
filmmakers
Carrey.
Yeah.
saying,
No,
"Hey,
this is
do
Jim
this"?
Carrey, and
Yeah.
what really pisses me off the most is that now when I go see Kick-Ass 2, because I'm going to see Kick-Ass 2,
Me too.
I had been looking forward to it, and I had really been looking forward to seeing Jim Carrey deliver a good performance, because I ain't seen that in a while. But now the entire time I'm watching this movie, I'm going to be looking at him, and instead of thinking, wow, look at him being funny, I'm going to think, look at this fucking asshole up on the screen that I'm having to watch now. He's basically ruined, for me, his performance in the movie before I've even seen it.
Yeah, but you're going to buy the ticket, and that's all that matters.
But now my enjoyment has been hampered.
No, he's going to make an appeal. When you please send the money to Lionsgate, don't send any to Carey. That's what he's going to put on his ticket.
Yeah.
Good call.
It
Good
what
luck with
pisses
that.
me off. I really wanted to see him have a good comedic, just a good acting turn. And now that I'm so disgusted by him when I see him on screen, I'm not going to enjoy it. And
What I don't get is
takes
he's a
away.
huge fan of Kick-Ass because I remember, I don't know if you guys do, but he was on Conan at one point dressed up in the Kick-Ass outfit.
I didn't know
Yeah, that was, I don't remember when it was, but he was dressed up in the Kick-Ass outfit. So what the fuck is this? I mean, he wanted to be in the series and now you're going to throw him under the bus? Like, what a douche.
he's a dude.
Now I'm definitely not seeing Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, I
Dumb
gotta
and dumber.
I gotta disagree with you there.
2
There's nothing
as
going
well.
to keep me from seeing Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, we believe that. You don't have to explain it, Scott.
Even if
we
we only
get it.
put one O in it, I'm still there.
Especially if they put one O in it. Ugh. All right, well, let's go to more popular superstars. Arnie Schwarzenegger, you know, when he's not hanging out with nannies, he decided to get back in the acting game, gave up his governorship, and he signed up for a damn zombie movie called Maggie. He'll be playing a father crossing the country as his daughter comes to grips with being bitten. Brian, is this the kind of zombie movie you want as a zombie lover?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't know, just by the little bit of information we have, I've already got this full movie envisioned about how, it's drawn out and she's progressively getting worse in her condition. And I just, unless he brings the acting performance of, I don't know, the past 4 decades, which the chances of that is very slim. I just don't see this really being a good movie.
And see, that little description actually sounds really cool to me. Not the fact that he's in it. I could care fuck less that he's in it. But
What's
the
new
idea
about
of a
it?
zombie movie being about the drama of someone bitten.
Because that's never been
and-
done before.
I
mean,
think
the grips, that sounds really kind of fun. I mean, not fun. It sounds gripping.
I agree with Justin. I think it sounds like an interesting concept if anybody else were doing it.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger doing it makes it sound cheesy, and before he's even...
You're a zombie.
I just want to see him get bit and see if he can, growl like that.
But not a bite. I can't do it.
Was that a kindergarten cop reference there, Justin?
Yeah.
It's not a bite. I said it like I'm from New England, but
I just kind of see it as almost like that movie, The Road, with
I've heard good things about that.
Viggo Mortensen.
No, except not good.
Feel good movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is no way this movie's ending, with rainbows and unicorns.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like they're going for some kind of comedy. So
No. I mean, I don't want it. I'm not saying it is a comedy. I'm just saying,
You're not going to have the happy ending.
yeah, you're not going to have the okay, everybody gets what they want type of ending. I mean, this girl, she's apparently dead already in some shape.
she's
form, or
dying.
fashion.
Maybe I'm sure the last reel he'll find a miracle cure, and he'll have to kill 45 people to get it.
The only way that I could see this being really interesting,
Then it's a Schwarzenegger movie.
the only way I could see this being really interesting is if you don't see a zombie the entire movie. You see the aftermath. She's already been bitten. We know she's bitten. We all know what zombies are. We know what happens when you get bit.
And at the end, she's faking. Like she just want to get out of school. That'd be awesome.
That would be lame.
At the end, he kills her, and then all of a sudden, a truckload of doctors show up.
Fuck you.
I love the mist.
Fuck you. Now I hate this movie.
I knew you'd get him, Brian.
Oh, shit. Okay. I don't even know what to come back with on that. Robert Downey Jr. Everybody loves him. He signed for Avengers 2 and 3, but no Iron Man 4. So apparently Marvel backed the truck up, but he's not going to do a fourth Iron Man. He's only going to be part of the ensemble. And Marvel has already started planning its Phase 3. It has untitled releases coming out in 2016 and 2017. Do you guys think they have serious plans already, or what?
Obviously, they've got to have serious plans.
No,
I mean,
they've got no idea what they're doing.
Well, it is untitled.
Well, just untitled means they haven't told us what
I realize
it is.
that.
But
This is what we call a joke. I didn't say it was a good one.
No. But
This is what the
They
French
rarely
call
are.
sarcasm.
here's the big thing that I gave away with this whole Robert Downey Jr. news. We've mentioned this before, but think of where Robert Downey Jr. was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago. And to how much money he is making and how much of a rock star, movie star he is right now. He's like the poster child for like recovery in Hollywood as far as...
I know, 10 years ago, he was on his knees begging for a job. Now he's got...
Yeah, that's awesome. As far as Iron Man 4, I'm okay with that. I actually kind of liked how Iron Man 3 ended. Kind of wrapped it up in a nice little bow.
See, that's what I was thinking. I've seen online a lot of people saying, well, I would rather have a part 4 than Avengers 2 and 3. I don't. I think they
No.
wrapped it up. I think it's good.
I think it's good enough. As much as I'd like to see some more, maybe Pepper with what she does a little bit.
I'd like to see more Pepper.
But
I mean, habanero.
habanero. But I don't know. It was good enough for me. Avengers 2 and 3. The thing with superhero movies, and I hope this carries on, is in my experience, in most superhero movies, the 2 is always a really much better version of the first one. In most, not
Lately,
not all.
the last decade, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man 2 to me, I liked a lot
Minus
better.
Lord of the Rings, I thought the second one was the weakest of the three.
That was
but
long, but that's not a superhero movie.
They were all long.
That's
Dude.
a fantasy. But with as good as Avengers was, man, you got some really
Got a lot to live up to.
for real. I hope it continues, but wow, that's a long ways away. So
What about you, Marvel fanboys? You're being quiet.
Because Scott won't shut up.
Now you know how
I
that
was
feels.
just-
welcome to my world, bitch.
Ouch.
Dang.
Had that coming.
Golly.
It's fine. I completely agree. Iron Man 3 had a really good ending to it, a nice cap off. It will be a little weird not having an Iron Man standalone in between Avengers 2 and 3, but they like you said, they've got to have a plan. I'm fine with them not just trying to continuously pimp out this character, and good on Robert Downey for not allowing them to just run Iron Man 5, 6, 7s into the ground.
I agree.
I've heard part of his deal was that he wanted pay bumps for the other guys on Avengers. I don't know if that's true, but I've read that several places.
I hope so.
That would be really cool. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
that's
I find
total
that
speculation.
hard to believe, but I really hope.
I don't think it's hard to believe. He seems like overall he seems appreciative of his good fortune. I mean, he's tried to save Mel Gibson's career like 8 times to repay the favor.
Absolutely, especially the Oscars a couple of years ago. He had a pretty good moment. Was it the Oscars or Golden Globes where he
Golden Globes.
Yeah, where he stood up for him. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool, especially for a guy that you knew everybody was going to jump on you for defending. So I give him credit.
There's a little bit of a difference between being an alcoholic and being a hater of other people.
That's what but he defended him. So because Gibson did the same thing for him. So I think
overall
he's a good guy.
Exactly, but especially in an industry where once something bad happens to you, everybody runs and hides.
Distances themselves.
He stepped forward and stood in front of him, so to speak, and took whatever bullets he could.
Oh, so. I agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any idea what you guys think Phase 3 is going to include? Any guesses?
There's no way to tell at this point. I mean, there's rumors of Doctor Strange coming up, Ant-Man,
Black Panther. Is that
obviously
one?
Black Panther is also another popular one. It's really hard to say. I mean, there's so many of these characters overlap. Their stories overlap into other comics and stuff. So it's hard to kind of say what the villain's going to be at this point. I mean, we've gone from a demigod to now we've got Thanos. That's
well, no, we talked about that before. Whedon said Thanos is probably going to be saved for the third Avengers.
That's right. Yeah. So
then there you go. That's what Avengers 3 will be about. Thanos.
There you go.
Untitled.
Why'd you even ask that question, Mr. Smarty Pants?
I was asking about the other movies, jackass.
No idea.
Yeah, there's just no way to tell right now.
But what are you hopeful for?
Yeah, are there any characters that haven't been brought to the screen you guys would love to see?
Damn it, don't spring this on me. I got to do a little.
I kind of thought that was
about this.
I thought that was kind of a given in the format, but that's right. You don't read the format.
It's got some fire.
Okay, exactly where in this format does he say, "Get ready to field the question"? What characters would you like to have?
What characters would you like to see? Am I not reading that right there? What characters would you like to see?
That is so awesome.
Untitled releases.
I think you wrote that, man. Yeah, I didn't. That's not on mine.
Oh, okay.
That might be your note.
So then, I'm not prepared to answer that because a question like that, I'd like to give it a little thought.
Anyone want a hug? Because I'm willing to hug. I'm willing to hug a lot. It was a great joke, Scott, but unfortunately you were wrong because it's not on the format.
My bad. I'm sorry, Justin. It was my note, not his. I'm sorry.
I don't care. That shit was funny.
Sequel news. Independence Day gets confirmed for a July 3rd, 2015 release. There's no Will Smith. It's confirmed. So, I'm sorry. There's no Welcome to Earth. And Liam Neeson, he took the money. He signed on for Taken 3. No word on who or what gets took this time. Justin, either one of these are you excited for?
Not really.
Wow.
I mean, without Will Smith being in the next Independence Day, you've really taken the one character and the one actor that was worth a fuck from the first film. And without him in it, what's the draw? I mean, what I really quite don't understand, though, is, Emmerich says, and I'm quoting him, Will Smith cannot come back because he's too expensive, but he'd also be too much of a marquee name. It would be too much. Who the fuck says I don't want one of the biggest stars in the world in my film?
Come on, I get that.
Because he's just too big of a marquee name. That's bullshit.
That sounds like George Lucas right there is what that sounds like.
It just sounds like a stupid-ass thing someone says to try and deflect that this guy is ditching your movie.
Yeah, I think it's code for Will Smith said, no, I ain't going back. Not unless Jeff Goldblum
it's a little ridiculous. So, yeah, I absolutely have no interest. Not that I had much going into it, but at least if Will Smith was going to be in it, give him some opportunities to make some jokes and recover from that shit film After Earth, then I would have been a little interested. But now there's none at all. As far as Taken 3, Taken again is concerned, yeah, this is bordering now on the absurd. I mean, at what point are they just going to have to start parodying themselves?
He got $20 million to come back and do that.
Yeah, and I mean, did Taken 2 do that well?
Taken 2 did better than Taken 1 total worldwide.
Well, yeah, because nobody saw Taken 1 till it was on DVD.
Yeah. No, Taken 1 was a huge hit here. It was huge.
In the theater?
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently he's close to making a $20 million deal, which, great for him. Luc Besson is, back to it, though they said don't be surprised if Olivier Megaton comes back to direct. They haven't made deals with Maggie Grace or Famke Jensen, so, I don't know who will be taken this time.
They need to get that team together. Do the team. Why didn't they should have done that in the last movie. The team that he basically cooks out with and they do like private security in the first movie.
Yes.
That's what needs to happen. One of those bastards needs to get taken, and he can just go take out a shitload of people to get to him. And that would make sense.
The one guy was in the second movie that helped him out when he was trying to get in the
embassy. They always pop up and help out, but it would make more sense that one of those guys gets taken based on what they do than his daughter getting taken again.
And then the rest of the team teaming up with him to go back and get him back.
There you go. He doesn't need a team. I mean, he's fucking Liam Neeson, but I would
shake it up though.
I don't blame him for taking the money. It's $20 million. I would not turn my nose up at a $20 million deal to do this film, but me as moviegoer, I wasn't all that interested in the second film. Reviews seemed to have borne out that I made probably the better call on that. And even another one, I mean, just do the Expendables 3 or something at this point.
That's already happening.
He's still got a little gas in the tank. He doesn't have to do Expendables 3.
Wow.
He doesn't, and he's still a star. Yeah. His movies still make money. Schwarzenegger is not exactly bringing in... He's doing shit like Maggie. I don't think he's comparable to Liam Neeson right now.
Welcome to Brian's Trailer Park. Okay, well, it ain't no secret. I'm about as shallow as a rain puddle in the Mojave so it shouldn't come to any surprise here about our first movie, Drinking Buddies, with Anna Kendrick and Olivia Wilde. It's got me a little bit excited to see this rom-com on August 23rd. Luke and Kate are flirtatious co-workers at a brewery who are perfect for each other, except for the little problem that they are both in relationships. So through the magic of destiny, that's right, beer, they take their significant others on a little camping trip, and the boundaries of all three relationships start to get very blurred. So, Justin, are you into a little wife swapping, or in this case, girlfriend swapping?
Well, if it involves Olivia Wilde and Anna Kendrick, I absolutely.
Either or.
Romantic comedies, they're fine, and I've enjoyed them in the past. These two actresses are very funny. I'm sure they'll do a great job. Am I all that interested? I'm interested enough to rent it when it comes out, but this sort of film, it does not, doesn't blow my skirt up.
Well, Brian said it best. He said the lines are kind of blurred as to who is with who, and honestly, halfway through this trailer, I really couldn't determine which.
I totally understood who was with who. She was with Ron Livingston, and Anna Kendrick was with the other guy. And then they realize they have feelings for each other, and then Ron Livingston and Anna Kendrick realize they have feelings for each other. That's all it is.
Yeah, but how do you on a camping? I'm sure it'll be explained, but I was just kind of taken out of the trailer a little bit whenever I'm watching Anna Kendrick and the other guy. I'm like, wait a minute. Now you two are alone in the woods. How does that happen?
Because that's what friends do. They go for walks, man. Friends walk.
That's what you and your friends do.
Yeah, I was saying, me and my wife and you and your wife go on a camping trip, and I disappear with your wife for a couple of hours in the woods.
I wouldn't think anything of it because I trust you, Brian.
Oh, don't play that trust card with me.
I don't trust her, but I trust you.
All right, good enough.
Scott's thinking about it. He's like,
Scott's trying to work out. he's on Priceline.com booking rooms.
Wait, I'm looking at Brian's wife's picture on Facebook right now. Wait, I'll give you a minute.
I don't know. If we went camping together and you were alone with my wife, would you make a move?
No, I mean, I wouldn't, but you're like...
You're stuttering a lot there, Scotty.
Am
That's
I?
an indicator
Really?
that you're lying.
I didn't think it seemed like it. I think they've always been friends, apparently, before they end up with these different mates, so it seems perfectly normal for them to go for a walk in the woods. I think you're reading too much into it. It's 2013,
they
Brian.
I'm with Brian.
Eating it like a picnic.
I'm not jealous like you guys. Apparently, you guys have jealousy issues. You should probably talk to somebody.
Not at all.
Trust your mates.
My wife laid laminate in the basement with her boyfriend. I think I'm pretty comfortable.
Is that what the kids are calling it now? Laying laminate?
What else we got, Brian? When's that come out?
August 23rd.
Excellent. I am with, just, you didn't really care what I thought, but
Usually don't.
I'm totally with Justin. It's totally a rent movie. I would never go to a theater and pay for this.
All right. The movie Jobs isn't a documentary about the national unemployment rate under President Obama, but it is about the man who figuratively, literally, and any other Elise you can think of, changed the world as we know it. Ashton Kutcher plays the visionary Steve Jobs as we follow his life from college dropout to technology icon. Scotty, as a fellow disciple of the Church of Apple, what did you think about this trailer regarding the life of our saintly Messiah?
I was totally intrigued. And although I have several Apple products, I'm not intrigued by this because of the fact that I don't worship Apple. I'm not to the point where I prefer Apple over anything and whatever. I'm not one of those. But this movie looks really interesting to me. And I think Ashton Kutcher looks really out of his element in this. He's not being Ashton Kutcher to me. He looks like
Is
he's
it a
playing
good thing or a bad thing? I'm
a good thing
confused.
because,
Oh.
I mean, I like Ashton Kutcher like in that 70s show when he's supposed to be playing the bumbling idiot. You know, like 2.5 Men, where he picked up that role. I have no desire to watch that. It just, you know, I've enjoyed some of his stuff and other things, but he's kind of typecast a little bit as like the charming, cute guy, whatever. But this looks like he is acting, and I haven't seen that from him in a long time. And I love, you know, biopics where you're learning a little bit. I don't know anything about the Steve Jobs story. I don't worship the guy like a lot of people do. And he looks like a nerd at the beginning of this movie. That's like just struggling in his garage trying to get the company off the ground. And I love seeing those kind of.
I thought he looked like Superman playing Clark Kent. That's what I thought.
You think so?
I thought he just threw in a pair of glasses, like, look, I'm a nerd. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Justin, you're the big fan.
Nerd.
No, Apple fan. I mean, everything in his house is Apple. Do you think he looks like Steve Jobs?
No.
What did you think?
I think Ashton Kutcher will always, in my mind, be an idiot, and he can play all the geniuses he wants to play, but he spent far too much of his career playing idiots for me to really see him as anything else. So I've got no interest in seeing him play Steve Jobs. And it's not because I have some love for Steve Jobs. I like Apple products, but I don't tie that to some, you know, love of Jobs. I like the products, but the guy behind the company, I don't keep pictures of him up or worship at his altar.
Same here.
I don't think it's an interesting story. I mean, I know a lot of people do, and they made Social Network work, so there's a chance this kind of movie can be fun. Ashton Kutcher is not the guy for me. Some people have said that. I know several people have said this trailer makes the movie look really good. I'm with Justin. I'm not one of those people. I think it looks like
Just looks like a biopic.
Dude who stole my Apple. I don't really know. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He didn't move me. He seemed like when you say he seemed like he was acting, to me, he looked like he was trying to act. And it just doesn't work for me. Ashton Kutcher is Ashton Kutcher in everything I've seen him in. I've never seen him be anything else.
That whole trailer, all I saw was Ashton Kutcher, and I did not see Steve Jobs. After I watched it, I found a couple of clips, interviews with Steve Jobs from the 80s, and he looks like him. And I went back and watched it, and I could see that more. You know, I think of Steve Jobs, I think of him the last 5 or 10 years that he was around. And he was slim, he didn't have any hair, etc., or little amounts of hair, whatever. And then, but you see him in some of these interviews from, say, like 83, 85, something like that, and he looks like fuller. He actually, I gotta say, he does look a little bit like Ashton Kutcher. But I gotta agree with you guys. It's still Ashton Kutcher, and I just don't see him pulling this one off very, very well. But
I feel like I'm being punked.
He's gonna pop out during the credits.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
it's like watching a Leslie Nielsen serious movie. You keep waiting for him to make a joke,
Yeah,
and he never does.
I get that. I'm on the hopeful bandwagon, I guess.
Oh, there you go.
I was excited after the end of the trailer.
Well, Jobs opens August 16th. So in a not quite as spectacular technological feat as creating a home computer in your garage, these trailers are already up on the HollywoodOutsider.com. So get over there, check them out. You can call us or text us at 818-814-6246. Or if you like letters better than numbers, 818-81-IMAHO. Our email is feedback@thehollywoodoutsider.com. Go on to facebook.com/thehollywoodoutsider. Like us, leave us messages, tweet us at H_outsider. And of course, you can get your I'm a Ho t-shirts at thehollywoodoutsider.com.
All right, now let's go to our new trivia game that we're playing every other week, The Fifth Degree. Everybody knows the game 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Well, for the 5th degree, Justin this week is going to give an actor, which is James Gandolfini this week, and then he's going to give us something else. Could be a property, movie, or even a genre like exorcism films, and the winner will be the first Ho to connect that through actors in 5 degrees or less. So, Justin, take it away.
Okay, we're going to connect James Gandolfini, and you need to connect him to the Avengers.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, this isn't going nearly as well as it should.
James Gandolfini to the Avengers.
Yeah, we heard him the first time. Fuck, we're all stupid. Every listener is beating us. Go.
Hang on. I got it. He was in that. What's the Robert Redford
Last Castle?
Last Castle.
Uh-huh.
Mark Ruffalo was in that, who was also in the Avenger, in the Hulk, as a Hulk in the
Mark
Avengers.
Ruffalo was in Last Castle?
Yeah.
No, we're just taking him at his word.
I think maybe not, but I think.
Ooh.
I'm going to investigate this.
He was. He played Yates.
All right.
Wow, he sure did. Wow, that was faster than my path.
Good job, Brian.
Nice
It
job.
only took us
Wow.
47 minutes, but hey, what are you going to do?
No.
Nicely done.
But see, that's okay, though. The listeners see if they beat Brian or not.
Mm-hmm.
That was a harder one.
That was pretty tough.
Nice
That
job,
was
Brian.
pretty hard. Now let's go to the big screen where we review any new releases. World War Z is the first up because zombies are everywhere. And this is the zombie episode. Everybody know what World War Z is about? It's about Brad Pitt. He stars as retired UN investigator Jerry Lane. One day, while Jerry is driving his family through downtown, people start going crazy, running into traffic, and eventually start biting people and doing the human pyramid. Turns out this is an epidemic, and Jerry Lane is apparently the best investigator in the entire world to figure out what's going down, track down the cause, the cure to the catastrophe. So where the film goes from here is kind of like major spoilers, so I don't really want to get into it. But essentially, he's touring the world to do that, to find out either where this came from or how we can cure it. So personally, I felt like this was not a zombie movie so much as it was like a medical mystery is how it felt to me. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that, Justin, or how did you see it?
Well, I mean, it has the feel of one of those films where some, whether it was Ebola or something else, was released into the world and they have to find a cure for it. But I liked that there were several moments in the film where they really tried to push this in more of also a supernatural realm. I mean, there's that you see Jerusalem in the trailers. There's reasons why he's there, and several people in the film go to they say flat out the undead. They don't try and call it something else. Call them disease victims. They call them the undead, and you don't call a zombie created by scientific means the undead. That has a much more supernatural connotation. So while there was that feel of a medical drama, there was also the feel of just a good old-fashioned zombie movie. And I thought they married them together really well without coming down hard on one side or the other.
I agree.
I really like the fresh spin on the zombie genre. We were going to talk about this in a little while, but it's been kind of beat to a dead horse, and I felt like it was a refreshing story. Well, the genre.
Yeah, because this movie takes it's a global scale as opposed to almost every zombie movie I've ever seen, where it's a group of people in a small area and they're trying to get to an area,
or at least one continent. I mean, like Walking Dead is all on
something. Well, that's all in Atlanta, pretty much.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's generally like a very localized area. So the fact that it went global, I thought was a huge change up to the genre. Now, Brian, you're the biggest zombie fan I know. You didn't love it as much as everybody.
No. Yeah. I don't think I loved it quite as much as you guys. I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a very entertaining movie. It just, it I guess maybe because of the global scale, it almost felt like I was kind of watching it from an aerial view the whole time.
I like that though. I like that.
You know, and it was just kind of I kind of equate it kind of almost like Contagion meets 28 Days Later. You know, I do like that Contagion aspect. The fact that it is going global. There are, I mean, there's walled up cities that are being overrun, and that was pretty cool. It was almost like you never sat still long enough to kind of really get I guess maybe kind of get too engrossed in certain parts. But I thought, but overall, like I said, I thought it was a pretty good movie. It was, you know, I don't know about I thought the acting, it pretty much like Brad Pitt was Brad Pitt, but I think you could have just about had anybody else in that role, and I think you could have done just as well. What do you think about
I
that?
totally disagree with that, man. I think Brad Pitt owned because the dude's a movie star, and he can carry whatever he does. He seems to kick ass in, and
especially killing them softly.
He was really good in killing himself. Yeah, he was good in the movie. The movie sucked, but he was good in it. He's got that very easygoing air about him, and everything he does just seems realistic and normal, and like how a person would react. He just seems very quick on things.
Yeah, I never doubted for a second that he was like all about family.
No, yeah, exactly. And the way that he played it when he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to do this, but essentially they're going to kick his family off the only safe spot they're aware of if he doesn't help them. So it's not like most movies where he's like, I got to go and save the world. He really didn't care about the world. Mm-hmm. He just wants to save his family. And the only way to do that is by him going to do this. So I thought he did a great job. And you're right, Brian. Nobody else really matters in this whole movie except maybe his wife, who's Marielle Enos.
Enos?
Yeah, and the girl that
Marielle Enos
is one of the girls that end up helping him on his mission with this Daniela.
The Israeli soldier.
Yeah,
she was great.
She was fantastic.
Very minor role, but she was very, very believable. Did you guys notice Matthew Fox?
I didn't even realize he was in it.
It was just like a super cameo role, like out of nowhere. Like why
you
waste?
You barely ever see his face.
I know.
It was more his voice that I got.
I didn't even realize it was him until my wife pointed it out. She's like, "Hey, that's the Lost guy. I know we gotta have a reference at least once a week."
Absolutely, it's in the contract.
But I wouldn't have even noticed it if she hadn't pointed it out.
The one guy that I really kind of that I think I enjoyed and wanted to see more of was he was in the, I hate to say segment, but the part of the story when they're in Korea, and that's the army captain, James Badge Dale. He's the guy with the beard.
Yeah.
I just thought he was just engrossing. I just was like,
very
wanted
real.
to see him. Just kind of wanted to see him more, and kind of liked his role in that.
That's what I liked about this movie is the characters that you came in. Most zombie movies, you see them kind of grow into the environment that they're around, and this is like, we're already here, we've already experienced this, we've already been through all kinds of crap, and this is how we are now. I think that's something that we're kind of missing from a lot of zombie movies and even games or whatever, is like all we see is the growth and we never see the aftermath.
Well, yeah, I guess to some degree. The production's been a big deal because everybody has talked about the zombie pyramids, the cheerleading efforts that zombies now do in this movie, where they basically run at a wall in mass and grow the pyramid area high enough to where they can jump over the wall. Okay, did you guys like this aspect of zombies in the movie, or did you think it was a little ridiculous? Does the CGI work for you, or was it not good?
I kind of like the notion, actually.
Rats do that.
What's that?
Rats do that. And
oh, that's a good point.
I mean,
every once in a while, Scott gets one.
Well, and they're just, I mean, they're not really, they're not strategic. They're not really thinking. They're just, they know something is there, and they're going to do whatever they can to get over that wall, so to speak. So, they know, okay, I can climb up this person and get a little higher. So that just kind of builds up enough to over the wall. I mean, to me, it reminded me, I hate to say this in a way because I don't really mean this as a dig, but it was almost like The Mummy. It was almost like one of those effects from one of the Mummy movies.
Little scarabs?
Yeah, instead of scarabs, we got zombies.
Zombie scarabs.
Well, and not to bring up video games at all, but early on in the film when they do the opening credits, they show a lot of scenes of mass carnage, but they also show a lot of scenes of like nature footage of ants and the kind of collective way in which ants will work and getting together and doing things. There's a game out now called The Last of Us, and the people who developed it said one of the reasons they got the idea for it is because they saw these ants who would get infected with a disease suddenly changing their behavior and becoming cannibalistic and some other things. And when these zombies would run at these walls or run en masse and start climbing over each other, it made me think of an anthill that had been kicked over. Yeah. And now all of these things have one single-minded purpose of getting to this food source, this thing they want, and whether they have to climb over each other to get to it, just kind of showed the mindlessness of what these zombies were, but also their tenacity. And the CGI, it's okay, but I like that idea, and I'm kind of glad that they did show that mass pyramid forming. And so, yeah, I thought it worked pretty cool.
My favorite part of the entire movie is I really like the zombies. I thought that was a great scene, the scene in Jerusalem with the en masse, which everybody's seen in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. But what they do in the third act, and I'm not going to give away what they do, but the tone of the movie comes down a notch. Whereas
it changes.
Yeah, completely changes. And I realize this is a part of the movie that was reshot, but most people going to this aren't going to know that. And it really doesn't matter because it's the final product. But the fact that it kind of, where most blockbusters, especially nowadays, everything gets amped up and amped up and amped up, where this movie, it kind of hits that high note and then becomes a different kind of movie, like a very suspenseful, slower paced film.
It's a different level of intensity.
Yeah, it was a different level of intensity, and it worked great. And it could have been an epic fail.
It became a much more personal.
Yes, thank you. I thought that was a great turn and a nice reprieve from all the action spectacle crap that's been out so far.
After you see a mountain of zombies, how do you get more threatened?
Yeah. Here's one of the things I liked about the production was I think the sound design was really good, especially in that third act with the zombie sounds that they made, in particular the clacking of the teeth and that kind of thing. Really made it really creepy and
intense.
Really amped up the intensity quite a bit. That was really good.
I loved that, and I thought it was a great change of pace from everything else I've seen this summer. So, verdict overall, what did you think, Scotty?
I was really pumped for World War Z already, but the film did a great job keeping me interested in the zombie genre despite some minor camera issues I had with the shaky cam at the beginning. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Brian?
I'm glad. I'm glad that it was better than what I was expecting. I've had higher hopes, but I wasn't let down either. So I'm giving it a strong 7.
Justin? What did you think?
I'll agree with Scotty. I went into it with very low expectations. In fact, I kind of went into it expecting a mess. And when it was over with, I was really impressed with how tight that movie was and how good. Really, really overall a great job. And I'd give it an 8.5. It's not the best movie of the summer, but it's not the train wreck I thought it would be. Far from it.
I hate when I agree with Justin. I totally agree with Justin. Overall, I had more fun here than I did with Iron Man 3, Man of Steel, and Fast 6.
Now you're going way too far.
But see, let me explain. I really love movies like Outbreak, where they're medical mysteries. It's a total change of pace from everything else I've seen in the summer. I gave it an 8.50 also. Not as good as Star Trek, but it's my second favorite movie so far this summer.
Wow.
Let me ask you this. There's without being spoilerish, they throw you a couple of little clues throughout the movie about what might be causing the epidemic. You see the gentleman in the alley. You see the kid.
Yep. That stuff's been in the trailer. Did I figure it out?
Right. Yeah. Did you figure it out? I mean, you're pretty good at figuring stuff out like that, but
I did right when the kid did that. I had an idea what they were going for.
I had no clue.
Yep.
Yeah, I had no clue.
And that's not a spoiler. I mean, I think
that scene is in the trailer. So
it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I kind of figured it out right about when Brad Pitt did. So I don't know if that's good or bad. We'll see.
No, you're one of those people who try to break it. I mean, you're trying to solve it from minute one.
Mysteries are my favorite kind of movie, man. So that's obviously probably one of the biggest reasons why I liked it as much as I did, because I love mysteries, and hardly any movies make mysteries worth paying attention to. Mm-hmm. So, and I like that they took that because they added a totally different layer to a zombie movie that I haven't seen done. Scotty, you and I went and saw The Way, Way Back.
We did.
Way Back. Did I say? There's two ways.
There's two ways. The Way, Way Back.
What is Way, Way Back about?
The Way, Way Back is about the main character's name is Duncan. Duncan's a 14-year-old boy. He and his sister are spending the summer with their divorced mother, played by Toni Collette, and her arrogant boyfriend, played by Steve Carell. Duncan is constantly belittled by his mother's boyfriend and becomes depressed very quickly going into summer. It's not until he's recruited to work at the local water park by Sam Rockwell's Owen that he begins to start to come into his own a little bit. Owen's sarcastic, carefree. He and Duncan build an extraordinary friendship over the course of the summer, and that helps to soften the blow of his uncomfortable home life. It's kind of a heartwarming, although somewhat predictable tale, but how did you feel about this story, Aaron?
I thought it was Meatballs meets coming-of-age movie.
Okay.
Because the whole point of the movie is Duncan, he's kind of disturbed, honestly. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not your average movie kid where he's just sad or something. I mean, I think he has real mental issues.
Really?
Just some subtle things. I mean, he has some different outbursts. He has some unique introvertedness. So maybe more along the lines of he's really socially awkward than anything. But
okay.
there were points where he was building up and had total outbursts where I thought, wow, maybe they're building up to like a bipolar kind of thing. But it really boils down to just Meatballs meets coming of age. I thought it was a really nice story. It was very sweet. I normally don't like these kind of movies. These are the kind of movies you dig. I normally don't get into that at all. Just because, I get it. Childhood is so easy. We should just go back and live that life. The thing I like most about it is the way that they presented Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Because he is a dick for the most part. The first thing he says in the movie, and if you've seen the trailer, you've seen this, where he's like, where do you see yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? And the kid can't answer it. And he says, you're a 3. I see you as a 3. And in my mind, the way that the movie paints him, you think from that point forward, well, he's just an asshole and he's going to be an asshole the whole movie. He actually has a reasoning for that. I don't think it's a good reasoning, mm-hmm. but the way that they tell the story, it seems to make sense to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I can buy it. That seems like what a lot of dads I know would say.
Right.
Especially to stepkids, because it's not my kid. So, but I've seen a lot of dads over my life talk to their kids like that. And in their mind, they're helping them, but really it destroys that kid's self-esteem.
Exactly. Whereas
Sam Rockwell's character, Owen, very much, the guy that never grew up. But it's not like Bill Murray the whole movie. I mean, he has a side where he realizes he needs to grow up. So there's a lot more layers and dimensions to him. I just like that they had these stereotypes without making them stereotypes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They added layers to them, and that really worked for me.
And I felt that they didn't always go the easy route as far as story goes. Mm-hmm. They seemed to kind of go some different directions, although the overall story of the film was pretty much predictable. I think you could pretty much see how it was. Yeah, you see where it's going,
go.
But it still took some interesting turns along the way that made it interesting and made it not just the same old thing.
Now, who was your favorite? Because there's a lot of good performances in the movie. Who was your favorite? I mean, you've got Duncan, who was Liam James, the girl that played Susanna. She was great. The young love of his, or the girl that he falls for. Steve Carell and Sam Rockwell. I mean, there's a lot of really good actors. I mean, Toni Collette's good too, but those are the big ones.
Sam Rockwell's the easy answer just because he's so entertaining, and he's becoming one of my favorite underdog actors because he's in a lot of movies that nobody's ever heard of, and I think this might be one of them.
He's the best thing in most of those movies. Too.
Really, he really is. One of the ones that I really enjoyed that maybe some people won't as much as I did, Allison Janney as the alcoholic neighbor.
She was
great. She was so entertaining. She was funny, totally carefree, didn't give a rat's ass what was going on. All she wanted to do was drink and have a good time. But she said she had some of the best one-liners in that. Toni Collette, she really was believable as a mother, kind of torn between her son's happiness and this asshole guy that she's trying to make a meaningful relationship with. And you could see the turmoil in there, and how that whole story goes out is actually pretty interesting. But Steve Carell, you're so used to seeing him play the goofy guy in stuff like The Office and all these goofy comedies, but he really nailed this role because At no point do you feel like you're seeing the guy from The Office. You never see that. You never see Michael Scott. You see this completely different guy.
It's a character I've never seen him play.
For real.
And I really thought it was going to be one note. Because just based on the trailer, I thought it was really going to be a one note character.
And it really wasn't. You said it best. He had a lot of layers to him.
He did. I mean, even though he's an asshole, I get where he's coming from. I don't agree with him. I think he's an a-hole. But I totally see where he's coming from and why, in his mind, it works.
And this seems like a step up from Dan in real life, which I really liked and I enjoyed his performance in that.
He showed me that he can act.
Exactly.
He can act. But Sam Rockwell, for me, I thought Duncan, the kid that plays Duncan, did a really good job because I really never knew if he was normal or had mental illness. Seriously, that's what I meant by that.
Okay.
I couldn't tell which way he was going with that until the very, very end. And Sam Rockwell, the guy is so undervalued. Really, he should be a star by now. He's such a good dramatic actor. He's such a good quirky. I hate to use the word quirky, but he's a quirky actor. He reminds me of Bill Murray, which is why he's a perfect fit for this because he can play several different kinds of roles.
Which is why I cast him as Bill Murray's character in my Ghostbusters redo.
There you go. Perfect.
I couldn't use him in Caddyshack for that reason.
I think you should use him in everything because honestly, here, if this doesn't make him a star, I really don't know what will because this is something families can go to. This is one of those movies that's safe for families, and it's a good movie for adults, good movie for kids, and he's great in it. If this doesn't make him a star, nothing will, honestly.
No, this is a movie that obviously doesn't have a whole lot of action in it. I mean, there's next to no action sequence. This is very much a character piece and telling a story. But I mean, how did you think it was shot in comparison to other movies of this genre?
It was shot by one of the guys who was on Community, right? One of them. It was shot by Nat Faxon and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Jim Rash.
Jim Rash. He's on Community. Did you know that, Justin? You're a big Community fan. Did you know Jim Rash was a director as well?
And a writer. And
absolutely.
Oh, well, that's cool. Well, they did the Descendants too. They wrote that, but the movie's told very statically. I mean, it's a very simply shot movie. There's nothing creative in terms of that. But the way that when you do these kind of movies, you have to have a director who knows when to cut it. When do you move on to the next scene? And if you don't do it at the right time, that's when I stop liking those kind of movies because they just drag the fuck on.
Yep.
Kind of like I'm doing in this review right now, and. They know when to cut it. They know when to move on. They know how to wrap up the story. The movie felt to me like the exact right length, whereas a lot of those just take forever to get to the point. I really felt like they were playing it out just like it needed to. They did a great job. I really liked it. It was a good change of pace.
To me, it was a very enjoyable yet predictable summer comedy / drama that's worth checking out. If nothing else, to see the fantastic performance by the cast, which I really enjoyed. If $10 is the full price of admission, I gave it a 7 out of 10. What about you?
I just think it's a really good change of pace from summer blockbusters. Sam Rockwell's great. 7.5.
Nice.
Really liked it. I got a couple speed rounds real quick. Stuff that we reviewed before or is new to DVD. Justin, what do you got?
This weekend, as well as seeing WarZ, I turned right back around, went in the theater and saw Now You See Me, which you guys reviewed a few episodes ago. This is the magician / bank heist kind of film, but really not a bank heist film at all. I liked it. I found myself a little irritated with Eisenberg's performance. I like it better when he's more Michael Cera and less trying to be cool, slick, badass guy. Isla Fisher, though, I thought she was just delightful on screen, and everybody involved was really good. And there's a nice little twist at the end I totally didn't see coming. Thoroughly enjoyed the movie. WarZ was, much more entertaining, but it certainly wasn't a bad time spent in the theater. I'd give it a nice solid 7 out of 10.
Sweet. And Scott, you finally saw The Call. Your wife made you watch it.
I did.
What'd you think?
That movie.
Real quick, what's it about?
Real quick, the call is Halle Berry. She's playing a 911 operator that gets a call, and some unfortunate things happen that cause the death of a 14-year-old girl at the very beginning of the movie. That's not a spoiler or anything, but she gets a call from another girl that she finds out later is being abducted by the same guy that murdered the other girl, and. This is a very intense movie, way more intense than I anticipated it to be. I was totally shocked at how much I like this movie. I highly recommend. This is definitely worth a rental, guys. I was blown away. The only bad thing about this movie is they blew it.
I want to see if it's less if it's the same thing that I.
Oh, the ending of this movie just really blew.
See, last 15 minutes. This could have been great. Absolutely great.
It really could have, and they kind of. I appreciate that they tried to go a different route with it, but they just went a way that you kind of want to happen, but that's not going to happen, kind of thing. So. Yeah, I want to say cut it off at the last 10, 15 minutes, but you really can't. So, but it's still definitely worth a rental. I highly recommend it. I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay, and real quick, unlike these two, I can be real quick. I saw Snitch. That's The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He plays a daddy-o who owns a business, and son gets picked up for drug charges, even though I didn't really do anything, but he kind of does. And the only way to get him off of the drug charges is to go and snitch and catch somebody for the feds. That's really the plot of the movie. It's really just an okay movie. The guy that plays Shane from Walking Dead, that John Bernthal's his name, he was absolutely great. The Rock, once again, not a leading man. I'm sorry, he's not a leading man. He's a great supporting actor, not a leading man. I love him to death, but he just doesn't do it. But John Bernthal, he was great as like this convict that ends up helping him out. Parolee that's trying to help him out. I love that they have their sons as part of the main story. They both have sons, and they're both in different situations. But other than that, it's really just run-of-the-mill average thriller. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Kind of what I expected.
Box office, Monsters University, $82.4 million. Huge hit. Second biggest Pixar hit opening of all time.
Wow.
So good for them. And surprising everyone in the world, World War Z opened at $66.4 million. They were calling for half that.
Yeah.
Total? Even the studio, Paramount, said, well, we're going to get $30 million out of it. Yeah, for the weekend. That's all they were calling for. Which is pretty phenomenal. Unfortunately, Man of Steel dropped like 65% because of that to $41.2 million. Still, it's made $210 million. Worldwide, it's like $400 million over that already. They're already making part 2, so you don't have to worry. It's coming. This is the end, $13.2 million, held up really well, so people are liking it, or they're just now getting around to seeing it, whichever. It's made $58 million, and now you see me, still in the top 5, $7.8 million, $94 million, it's going to make $100. So,
nice.
Kick ass.
All right, guys, we've got 4 films coming out, 2 of them coming out on July 3rd. The other 2 coming out on July 5th. The first one we're going to talk about is Despicable Me 2. This is a 3D computer animated film directed by Pierre Coffin and Chris Renaud and starring the vocal talents of Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig, and Miranda Cosgrove. Gru, who's voiced by Steve Carell, is recruited by the Anti-Villain League to help deal with a powerful new super criminal. I really enjoyed the first film, but from what I've heard, this one is a little more focused on the minions. And, I liked the little yellow watermelon heads. I thought they were kind of cute. They weren't my favorite part of the first movie.
Bottom.
So, Scotty, being a minion of Aaron yourself, how are you looking forward to this?
I'm actually looking forward to it. I kind of went into the first movie kicking and screaming a little bit, but wound up loving it. And I think the trailer looks cute. I'm on board.
I have no desire to see another one. I don't know why they made a sequel to this. It just didn't seem like something that... I really liked the first one. I just don't see why they made a part 2. I'm sure millions of kids will love it. I have no desire.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people they're totally excited about it. I thought the first one was entertaining, but I didn't see it was good enough to make a second one. The Minions did, I think, kind of make the first movie. They were that unintended, favorite, so to speak. So I don't know. It looks entertaining, but I don't know if I'm excited to really run to a theater to go sit there with a bunch of kids watching that movie.
And none of us have little kids, so it's probably more of a little kid movie.
I have a wife that really wants to see it, so I'll probably be seeing it.
All right, the next film is The Lone Ranger. This is a Western brought to us by the same creative talents that brought us the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, director Gore Verbinski and writers Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio. Get this, originally the script had a supernatural tone to it with the plot involving werewolves. But then some douche named Justin Haythe came along and fucked all that up. So this is what we got now.
Wait, you want werewolves in a Lone Ranger movie?
Fuck yes. I want werewolves in any Western where he's shooting fucking silver bullets. Yes.
Oh, that does make sense now that I think about it.
That's what I wanted.
All right.
Anyway,
I'm with you.
Starring Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp, the Lone Ranger's Tonto's recounting of how lawman John Reed became a legend of justice who wore a mask or something. Brian, there were some pretty dark moments in your past involving the law and angry werewolves. Are you glad the script was rewritten so that you wouldn't have to relive those dark days?
Yeah, I mean, the flashbacks alone are bad enough. The last thing I want to do is pay $10 and go watch 2 hours of it thrown up on a big screen.
Exactly.
There's a lot of good people involved with this. The big budget. There's a big budget behind it. Special effects. I am afraid that we're seeing all the highlights of the movie in the trailer, though.
Yep.
That's what scares me. There's nothing. For instance, there's the scene with the bridge, the really tall train. The trestle being
where it explodes.
Up. Yeah, that is one of those things where it works in the movie when you don't know exactly what's going to happen. The timing of it is really the key. You think it's going to explode. Okay, 3, 2, 1. What happens?
You have Johnny Depp in the trailer. Isn't that enough to get you to come see the movie? I mean, Johnny.
Yeah,
I think he's losing a little bit of his luster right now. Honestly,
you think so?
Yeah, I think so. Have you guys noticed of all the movies, and we're a movie podcast, so guess what? We talk about these things every week. The one movie that I haven't heard anybody tell me they were looking forward to seeing this summer is this one.
Yeah, that's
and I've seen that trailer everywhere. Everybody's seen it before the movie. Nobody seems to give two shits about it.
I don't think anybody knows who Armie Hammer is.
Well, they don't need to. They know Johnny Depp is Tonto. I really thought that
would
be...
Well, but Armie Hammer's the Lone Ranger. And when your titular character is played by somebody that, I've seen him in a couple of TV shows, but that's really the extent of it. The trailers have yet to convince me that this is a guy that can, play the fucking Lone Ranger.
He does seem a little oddly cast.
Oh, I have no doubt he can.
I would have
play
expected it like a Thomas Jane or somebody.
Don't tease me.
Or Dennis Quaid.
No, I don't know. I don't mind him. He played both Winklevoss twins in the Facebook movie.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the casting.
Those are comparable.
I think you need somebody when you've got somebody like Johnny Depp. I think you really need somebody a little bit lesser known to kind of balance that out. So I
kind of see what you're saying with that, yeah. But I do want to know, why isn't anyone getting excited? The trailer is just boring.
Yeah.
Well, not because Superman, because Star Trek, because Pacific Rim. Not for nothing, but those are the kind of movies that my summer revolves around. The Lone Ranger isn't necessarily up in that category, though I'm not turned off by it, and I do actually want to see it. But when you're in the company of those other films, it is very hard for your light to shine when you've got all these other movies that are vying for your attention.
Really think about it. The Lone Ranger was relevant how long ago? There hasn't been anything Lone Ranger related since I was a kid and playing like regular Nintendo. There was a Lone Ranger game. There hasn't been like a movie. There hasn't been that TV show was what from the 60s?
It's been a while.
I played him as a stripper, but that was a while ago.
That was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They're a good band though, the Lone Rangers.
The thing that I keep seeing every time I watch the trailer is
you're alone. You can't be Lone Rangers.
Thank you for catching that reference, Justin.
Is Wild Wild West. Every time I watch the trailer, I keep looking for Will Smith.
No.
Giant spider.
I completely disagree with that. That had a whole flavor of shit its own.
Yeah. Hey, I totally hope you're right, man. But that's what I get worried about when I watch it.
This just hit me. You brought up Wild Wild West, but do you think these
Wild Wild West.
These mega budget Western movies just don't work?
Yes,
do you think the big budget actually hurts the Western genre?
Yes, because
I could agree with that. Yeah.
Think of any Western that has made this budget was like $200 million. I don't know why they would greenlight it. I'm sure it's just because Johnny Depp's in it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But think of any Western that's made $200 million. I can't think of a single one. I even looked for one. I couldn't find a single one that's made $200 million. No, $100 million. No? Westerns just aren't popular anymore. And blockbuster territory is very, very, very rare. And they tried it, Cowboys and Aliens, they tried to update Westerns.
Right. That's kind of my point. It's like when you decide to go heavy special effects, have big major budgets and all that stuff, you really kind of hurt a genre that is part of the allure of it is the very low tech world.
Exactly.
That it's in. I agree. And you really take that aspect away from it.
I really wish they would have approached this movie from that kind of lookout, made it a smaller budget. Johnny Depp can still be Tonto and just made it more of a low key real Western. That would be more interesting to me than yet another blockbuster.
Low key Johnny Depp?
Yeah, I think Johnny Depp, before he became so mega popular, was one of the best actors working. Mm-hmm. And I don't see that anymore. I still think it's there. But he could turn on a lot. He could turn in a very, very low key performance that worked. Now he has to have makeup every time he does anything.
As my closing comment on this one, I am a huge fan, though, of the Pirates of the Caribbean films, all three of them. The fourth one, meh. But the original three, I really do love them. So I do trust Igor Verbinski and his writers to make an entertaining film, though I will probably always see this movie as this is why we didn't get BioShock.
All right.
All right. July 5th, we've got the way back, which, gosh, it's been forever since we talked about this fucking movie. This is a dramedy written and directed by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash. It stars Stephen Carell, Toni Collette, Sam Rockwell, and Liam James as a teenager who, over the course of a summer break, comes into his own thanks in part to the friendship he strikes up with a water park manager. Aaron, you and Scotty have already seen this one, so instead of telling us whether or not you'd see it, because obviously, you did. Mm-hmm. Tell us quickly if we should go see it.
Yeah, I recommend it. Definitely.
I recommend it. Not necessarily theater worthy, but yeah, check it out.
I've slept since you gave your review. What was the score you gave it again?
I gave it a 7.5.
I give it a 7.
Well, there you go. Brian, are you interested in this one?
Sorry, you want to interrupt my nap?
Gotcha. Moving on to the last movie. Kevin Hart, Let Me Explain. This is actually the first comedy special that we've had mentioned during this segment. Not sure why we're doing it now, but, whatever. It's Kevin Hart standing on stage at Madison Square Garden telling jokes. There you go. I don't give two shits about Kevin Hart, or really most comedians for that. I have a select crew of comedians that make me laugh. Sadly, most of them are dead, but what about you guys?
Why this is coming out in theaters, I have no idea, but his last one apparently did really well. I have no desire to see it. I won't see it on video either. I like him in small bits. I don't want to see his stand-up.
I'm not a huge fan of his stand-up. I think it's a little more than just him on stage. It seems to be telling a little bit of the behind-the-scenes kind of stuff, but
that's cool.
It's not enough. It's not interesting enough to make me go check it in the theater.
Yeah, he's like Curry.
Curry?
A little bit's fine, but too much.
I mean, honestly speaking, I don't know if there is any comedian, and there are some still alive working today that I love. Patton Oswalt, love him to pieces. I listen to his CDs when they come out, but none of them would actually get me to go into a theater to sit and watch them do it.
I don't care if George Carlin and
came back as zombie.
Yeah. I just don't care if they did. If he just come back, him and Richard Pryor both did a world comedy zombie tour. I wouldn't pay it. Well, okay, wait a minute. Now that I put it like that, I might go see that. But for the most part, I agree with you. I'm not going to. There's not anybody I think funny enough out there for me to go to a theater to go see it.
Chris Rock, I would pay for it in a heartbeat for his concert.
Really?
Yeah, I love Chris Rock, man.
To go into a theater?
Yep, I love Chris Rock. If it's the only way I could hear it, absolutely.
Well, but this isn't going to be the only way you're going to hear it.
No, but I was giving you that's why I would pay.
Yeah, but paying $12 for a movie ticket?
I like Chris Rock that much. I would. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. Kevin Hart, Let Me Explain, The Way Back, The Lone Ranger, Despicable Me 2. Of these 4 films, which of them will find you in the theaters this holiday weekend? Aaron?
Lone Ranger.
Could you sound a little happier about it?
Lone Ranger.
I feel like we're just. Well, before I finish that, Scotty,
Lone Ranger. I'm curious.
Brian.
Yep. Same thing. Lone Ranger.
Yeah, I'll say the same. So that is the weakest endorsement I think we have ever given.
I hope we're surprised, though.
It's like we're all like, yeah.
If you're going to make me, I'll go see Lone Ranger.
We could be pleasantly surprised. I was not looking forward to World War Z, and it totally surprised me.
Yeah.
So there is a chance. Please make it happen. Where you can hear us, you can listen and subscribe on iTunes, your Stitcher Radio app, or through our RSS feed at thehollywoodoutsiders.com. If you use Google Reader, you can't anymore because starting Monday, it's gone. So use our RSS feed in your podcatcher, whatever you use. There's a new episode every Thursday, and we try to have a special episode every couple weeks.
What's this movie?
What's this movie? Each week we play ours or a listener-suggested clip from a movie. And if you think you know what the clip is, email us at feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. Tweet us or Facebook us the answer, and next week we'll give you a proper host shout-out. Last week was my pick, and it was The Last Castle in honor of James Gandolfini. Those that got it right, Stephen F. and Brad P. So congratulations, guys. This week it is Scott's turn, so if you think you know what it is, email us at feedback@thehollywoodoutsiders.com. Here's your clip.
Come over here.
Vivica, you know what I heard when I first met you?
What? What are you doing?
That's an ambulance coming to take me away, because the sight of you stopped my heart.
All right, now let's go to the couch where we talk about TV and video news. Not really any news out. But we did see, I saw, Justin was supposed to, but he's busy. The Under the Dome premiere, which is Stephen King's adaptation of the TV series. I don't want to give any of what the story is about away that leads into like where the series is going. But essentially, small town Chester Mills is covered by a huge dome, and nobody knows why. One day, people are just running around town doing their usual shit, and they see cars crash into a wall, an invisible wall. What the premiere does is it sets up all the multitude of characters, very much in a Lost or Jericho. If you remember Jericho, guys, this is very reminiscent of that show.
I don't say that.
It is. I like Jericho. Brian and I love Jericho.
Kind of a death sentence, isn't it? Though?
I mean, love it. That's to me, you're setting some pretty high expectations.
I absolutely. There were a couple side plot. There was one side plot I didn't care for between boyfriend and girlfriend, which I'm not going to ruin for anybody that hasn't seen the show. But that one side plot I didn't care for. But other than that, I really liked how they set this up. It's a very strong premiere. You see that the dome, people are realizing that this dome covers this entire town, but you have no idea what the hell's going on. Even when the premiere is over, you have no idea. Basically, they can't get out, nobody can get in, and anybody that tries to, if you run at it, you're going to smack into it. If a car drives at it, it's going to crash. I mean, it's a very strong force field, so to speak. And you can see the military on the other side of the dome, on the outside, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. The people inside have no idea, and they're cut off from the rest of the world. So obviously there's something else at play here. We just don't know what it is. And then you've got a couple of other small plots where the townspeople have a few minor things going on, obviously, in their political system, and there's some secrets involved. And, we're going to learn more about that over I think it's 13 episodes, because this is one of those summer event series. Really, really interesting premise, but it is very reminiscent of Jericho. How these people are trapped off from the rest of the world, they're going to have to survive somehow, and also figure out whatever the mystery is behind everything. And I really wish you would have seen this, Justin, because it's really your kind of show.
Well, I mean, I will check it out. I've read the book, so I'm curious if they're going to, be faithful to the book as far as what's causing all of this or not. And if they are, how they're going to play that. But I'll definitely check it out. I just completely forgot that it came on this week, buzzed right past me.
Real quick, being that you've read the book, would you, or could you explain, based on what you've read, is this something that can continue past 13 episodes, you think? Or is this something that really it's a one-shot series? They need to wrap it up pretty quick.
Well, based on the book and its dynamics, it would have to be a one-season show because nothing comes in, nothing goes out. So think of that.
The limitations.
I mean, well, no, think of that.
Okay.
No air comes in.
Oh, I see what you're
So
saying.
you have a limited amount of time in which things can, people can live in that environment. Think of all the cars and their exhaust and fires, and you start to see how things not leaving can cause real problems later on. So no, if they follow the book, it would have to be a one season thing.
Well, and CBS has a pretty good little short history here with some just one shot seasons.
Yeah, that's true.
Harper's Island a couple of years ago was pretty good. I don't know if you got any of you guys.
I really
saw
liked that show. I thought that was a great show.
Yeah.
I mean, it wore on a little too long because of the premise, but it was a really good show. This premiered huge. It was like one of the biggest series openers of the year, second only to the following, I think. So, fantastic opening, and I'm really looking forward to where it goes. We'll keep an eye on it. It's a really interesting series, and there's not much to watch in the summer, so it's nice to have this there, And also, we're going to put a promo in here from one of our friends of the show, Wayne, who's doing a Under the Dome podcast. So there's a promo for his show. It's actually a top 5 this week, so congratulations to that, Wayne.
Nice.
Here's his promo real quick.
What if your entire town was trapped underneath a mysterious dome? What would you do? Who could you trust?
In the upcoming CBS miniseries, Under the Dome, the citizens of Chester's Mill will ask these very questions and much more. Join radio veterans Wayne and Troy this summer for Under the Dome Radio, a podcast by and for fans of this must-see TV event.
All summer long, join us and become a dome head at underthedomeradio.com.
Now let's go to DVD and Blu-ray, Scotty.
All right, we got a pretty short list this week, but we're looking at the releases for July 2nd. The first is a documentary called The House I Live In. This one takes a look inside America's criminal justice system, revealing the profound human rights implications of the U.S. drug policy. Also, Sick Souls. This is a female forensic psychiatrist discovers that all but one of her patient's multiple personalities are murder victims. She'll have to find out what's happening before her time is finished. Have you hooked yet or no?
You just sounded like one of those fucking announcers from the 70s, man.
Do I? All right, I tried. Also, remember the TV show Last Resort? That complete series is now available on DVD.
I heard that they actually wrapped it up pretty good.
Did they?
So I actually want to go check that out.
I'll have to go check it out. But also, one other quick tidbit. Although the second installment of The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, doesn't come out in theaters until December 13th, it has been announced that a special extended edition of The Unexpected Journey will be released about a month before that. Here's what's promised, and you guys are bigger fans of it than I am, but more of Hobbiton? More Goblin Town and the Great Goblin singing his song and much more. So that's should be good news for you guys.
Yeah, I don't.
Does he not get tired of taking my money?
You've already ordered it, and it's not even up for order, is it?
And finally, one of our listeners, Ashley, recommended last week for us to watch a movie called Margin Call, which was on Netflix. And I actually got a chance to watch that this week. I really enjoyed this movie. A little dry in a couple places, but overall, I found myself captivated throughout the whole thing. A lot of it has to do with because I was in the financial industry during the 2008 financial crisis, but really interesting. Highly recommend it. Definitely worth a look on Netflix for free. So.
Ooh, yeah. Hit me with that unknown shit. Flashback.
With that, we'll move on to our flashback segment. This is where once a week one of our hosts brings to the table a little-known or obscure film that we hope the rest of us, as well as you listening, will give a chance to. This week it is Brian's turn. So, Brian, what do you have for us?
All right, I've got a movie from a few years back in 2008. It's a movie called Pontypool. It's kind of a weird sounding name. It's the name of a Ontario, Canada town. So follows a guy named Grant Mazzy, who is a Ontario-based shock jock. He's hunkered down in his studio with his producer and assistant in this kind of Valentine's Day snowstorm. They get word of some crazy happenings around town, and weird shit starts to get really close in on them. So kind of starts where people kind of go through a few different little stages. They start repeating specific words. Then they kind of become a little bit incoherent, kind of can't complete their thoughts, kind of much like myself after I've been drinking. Then they become kind of zombie-ish, for lack of a better word. Actually, the director actually called them conversationalists. But anyway, we're kind of staying with this whole zombie theme tonight.
I know. That's a zombie.
That's it, man. And of course they attack people very, very violently and all that stuff.
Excellent. Like that.
The whole movie really, it's one of those movies where it's a micro budget movie. The whole movie takes place in this little studio, which is like the basement of an old church. You hardly see any of these infected or conversationalists. So anyway, but the main actor is Stephen McHattie. You've seen him in a number of things. He's real good. The producer, her name's Lisa Houle.
Why are you laughing, Justin?
Well, he names the actor, then, hey, you've seen a couple things, but that doesn't tell me what they are. I'm like, well, that's specific.
Well, we know he's good. He's just good.
Well, yeah, I heard. That's the word on the street. Sorry, Brian, it just struck me.
No, you're not. Fuck off. But anyway, Pontypool does a good job of kind of ramping up the intensity using the first-person perspective as we don't really see a whole lot of these infected because they've kind of locked themselves up inside this building and trying to figure things out. So That's it.
Well, continuing with zombies, let's go to our From the Outside In topic, which is zombies. With World War Z 9 at the competition, we thought it would be a perfect time to talk more zombies.
I see what you did there.
You see? Yeah. Starting off, let's just be simple. Why the hell do people love zombies? Justin?
Well, for people who want to hear more on this, they can check out our second episode of Hose After Hours. But I kind of voiced it there. I'll say it again here. I think people like zombies because it's kind of a reflection of our fears about ourselves, mindless consumerism, the whole disease aspect, what might get loose from our own laboratories. I think zombies are a good kind of villain that they can really make do almost anything, and you let it go. As you know, there are things you can and can't do maybe with werewolves or with vampires, but with a zombie, you can make them run, you can make them slow, you can make them religiously based, you can make them scientifically based, and it all just kind of works. But really, in these movies, the bad guys usually end up being us, whereas with a lot of other movie monsters, the bad guys are the fucking monster. But I think that kind of speaks to us whether we realize it or not.
For me, I think zombies are big with people because it seems like something that could actually happen. Like,
really?
Like
what neighborhood do you live in?
No, like I mean, look at what happened with the bath salt guy, and the CDC actually had to issue a statement that said, "Hey, just let everybody know this wasn't a zombie outbreak," and they actually used the word zombie. I think people in their minds think that this is something that could happen, and we should be prepared for. I know it's silly, but I think
we should be prepared for the undead digging themselves out of crypts.
Yes, but it's one of those things that we've seen so many versions of this style of movie that we're all kind of half expecting it.
I plan on my coffin being made out of cardboard.
So you can get out easy?
Oh yeah, I don't want fucking splinters or peeling off nails as I dig my way out.
To me, there's something about that impending, whether it's the slow-moving zombies or the fast-moving zombies, which actually obviously is worse, but it's just that fact that you really have, there's just this overwhelming, you can take out one or two of them, but there's this sooner or later, the numbers, just the sheer numbers are going to overwhelm you, whether you like yourself in a little house or, maybe you can get lucky, find yourself a cabin that's way out of the way or whatever, but there's just something about sooner or later, all of these numbers are going to just overrun you unless you find some magic cure or something. And I just think there's just that, it's not one specific creature. It's just, I think just the sheer numbers and the overwhelming, I don't know, everything's closing in on you. There's just nowhere, no matter where you go, it's almost like there's nowhere to go. You can keep running, but sooner or later you're going to get caught.
It's the unknown terror that, we have all these people that we bury what if at some point the resurrection happens and, they come back. They're pissed off. They don't get into heaven, if there is one, which I know half
I don't
our
know. I
podcast.
went up in the rapture. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Because me and Jeebus, tight.
Yeah, you guys are besties. Now let's, okay. I know this is really hard for a lot of people, but what is your all-time favorite zombie movie? We've all seen, and starting with Night of the Living Dead, way back in the, 60s? 50s, 60s, whenever that came out. Up until now, there's been hundreds of zombie flicks, and they've come and gone in terms of popularity. So what's your all-time favorite? Brian, what's your favorite zombie movie?
Favorite, the 2004 Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, man, that was mine.
Everything from the beginning, the creepy little girl, the cool overhead shot, the really, really high aerial, almost Goodyear blimp view of
Absolutely.
Sarah Polley driving through the neighborhood, and you see neighbors chasing neighbors, you see cars screaming past her and crashing. The celebrity look-alike zombie kills, when they're on top of the shopping mall.
Rosie O'Donnell and Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds, right? The communicating with the dry erase boards with the guy across the way, the holding up just the idea of holding up in a shopping mall where, you could really hold out there for for quite a while. I like that idea, and I like the ending of it. I like the fact that, and I think we're the statute of limitations or whatever is passed.
Yeah,
I think we can talk about the ending. I really like the ending. The fact that nobody fucking lives. You get to this, the whole mission is to get to this island. It'll be safe, blah, blah, blah. You get there and you're greeted by the zombie welcoming committee.
Well, now, you don't know that anybody dies. You don't know that. They don't actually
It
show
ain't looking good.
No.
Well, I don't know what else you get from the end credits there. I mean,
I didn't think it was a choose your own adventure ending. That's what it was. It gave you the idea, oh crap, there's more zombies, but they could live.
They're standing on a wooden dock and they're being overrun. There's zombies running at you in the camera. I believe the camera even drops.
So negative. I'm looking at the positive aspects of the zombie apocalypse. They made it.
For the first time in Aaron's life, he's being positive. No, but I think I agree with you 100%, Brian. And one thing that you're not selling on that ending that is something that I had never seen in a movie up to this point is the movie ended. Like, it was a happy ending, so to speak. And then the credits rolled, and I'll bet you a bunch of people got out of their seats and walked out of that theater. Credits rolled, and then the actual ending to that movie took place during the credits. And that was awesome to me. I had never seen that done, and I thought that was so clever. I'm with you 100%.
No, that's cool. That's a good point there. And again, whatever. I'm a negative person then, but I took it as nobody lived.
I took it the same way as you, man.
I took it as Ving Rhames is in there. They're going to make it. Justin, what's your favorite all-time zombie movie?
Well, mine came out the same year, but it's Shaun of the Dead. I like that it's a combination of horror and comedy, more comedy than horror, but there are some genuine tense moments in it and some horror to be had. But, it's really the first outing, at least that I had seen, of Edgar Wright directing, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost starring. They've gone on to do other films. In fact, the new one's coming out shortly. But it was a fun film, and I thought they handled zombies incredibly well. They were cheeky about it. A lot of laughs to be had along the way. And I thought the ending of it was kind of bittersweet and hell, even a little bit cute.
How awesome was it when that whole exchange when they're trying to decide whether or not to destroy a zombie with the
records,
a Sade album? But I bought this album by Sade, and it was really funny to me.
And yours was you already said Dawn of the Dead.
Mine was Dawn of the Dead.
I wish I could say Night of the Living Dead. I really do. It's one of those where I think the social aspects of that film when it came out are riveting, phenomenal, really put a lot of things on the film that haven't been put on the film in terms of social commentary, but it's not fun. I just don't find it fun. I don't find any of Romero's Dead films fun. I know they're classics. People love them. They don't work for me. My favorite is more recent. It's Zombieland. I'm sorry.
It's a good call.
I don't care if people think it's too recent or it's not hard-hitting enough. It's the most fun fucking zombie movie I've ever seen. Woody Harrelson cracks me up. Twinkies, which I don't really care for, are now amusing to me. A piano landing on a lady, the lady pulling the handle and watching a piano land on that zombie's head was fucking hysterical. I just love that movie. So
I use double tap to this day whenever I watch a movie.
Exactly.
Double tap.
I can watch that movie anytime. It's like any other movie. It's not really a zombie movie to me. It's just like any other movie. I love it. So what is your all-time favorite zombie kill? Justin?
Oh, I've got two, and they're both from the same fucking movie, but one of them has, I don't know if I'd say it's world famous, but if you're into geeky films, you know it. I Kick Ass for the Lord. Does that ring a bell for any of you fuckers?
Say it again?
No.
I Kick Ass for the Lord.
Praise the Lord, pass the ammunition.
No.
Dead Alive.
Oh.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah, okay. Is that the one with the lawnmower?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the other one. There's a scene where a priest finally sees a villain worth fighting in these zombies, and he basically turns into Bruce Lee and just commences to kick the shit out of a group of zombies, just kicking and tearing limbs off. It's really hysterical the way he leaps into the fray. And then later on in the film, there is a scene where a guy picks up a lawnmower, holds it up, spinning blade first, and then literally mows his way through. It's probably the bloodiest scene I've ever seen in a movie ever. And both of them are just fantastically fun to watch. Very early Peter Jackson, before Lord of the Rings was even dreamt of for him to film. It's a fantastic movie that you can watch and just have a lot of fun with your friends.
That lawnmower scene is just ridiculously, amazingly awesome.
I need to see that movie.
It's just, I mean, seriously, entrails are everywhere, blood's everywhere. He's just chopping heads off left and right with a lawnmower. It's ridiculous. but cool as hell. Scott, what's your favorite?
Mine was from Planet Terror.
Okay.
When they're, just because it was so awesome, there's like an army of zombies running towards them, and they get in the helicopter and just blade down and run forward and just basically go forward through this whole horde of zombies. That was my favorite. And granted, it's a bunch of zombies, but hey, so was yours. I love that scene, and I could watch that over and over again. I thought it was so cool.
Mine's pretty close to that, which is where Planet Terror ripped it off from. It's from 28 Days Later.
Okay.
Because when they're in the chopper and they lean it forward and they start doing the same thing to zombies, that's my favorite kill. Mm-hmm. And that was all intentional. The chopper's going down. He tilts it forward and says, "Fuck them all," and it's played much more seriously.
Oh yeah.
But it's kick ass. Mm-hmm. Planet Terror is much more cheeky, whatever. This was
Rose McGowan with an M16 leg. I mean, come on.
That was pretty serious. I mean, that was serious business.
That was serious.
It's fantastic.
Serious business. But
she grenade jumps into the goddamn helicopter, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. I remember liking that one a lot more than the other one, but
I like 20 Days.
No.
No. I like 20 Days Later. Death Proof I'm talking about. Yeah.
Death Proof is so much better.
Ugh. Well, they're different kinds of movies, so it's really what you like. Brian, favorite zombie kill?
Dead Snow. I think you saw that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did see that one. Which scene?
The movie itself is like, okay. I mean, it's entertaining for a foreign movie. It's
entertaining
foreign movie
in a never watch again kind of way. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's a Norwegian movie. I mean, I don't know how many people can say they're huge fans of Norwegian cinema.
Nobody I know. Everybody's hiding it.
But there was a scene in that movie where they kill actually two zombies with a snowmobile. Basically,
yeah.
He knocks one of them down, picks up the back end of the snowmobile, drops the track on his head, and revs it up.
That was great. I forgot all about that. Oh, that's good call, man. That's a little known one.
Oh yeah, and it's like I say, it's just one of those. It's the special effects quality is not very good with this movie.
But the concept was there.
Yeah, but just the fact that it's something you haven't seen before was just like,
oh, he's right. If they picked that scene and put it in like a real budget, that would be fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah. I almost applaud for that one because I never would have thought of that. Good job. And are we sick of zombies yet? Seriously, Scotty, are we sick of them?
Getting real close, and I say that yet stuff keeps coming out that I'm still part of the problem and I'm contributing to. I liked World War Z, even like outside of movies.
Oh,
but
please,
like,
dear God, don't mention more games.
Yeah, Justin already mentioned it, but Last of Us, I love. This is a genre that I complain about, but yet I still soak up every bit of it that I come across, as long as it's good quality. So I want to say yes, but at the same time, I'm still enjoying it for some reason.
I think I am. I thought I was really sick to death of it. Like even Walking Dead, there are times where I'm like, really? But thankfully, they've got a lot more into their story than just zombie kills.
Yep.
I'm not part of that majority that just wants to see a cool zombie kill every week. I actually want to see more of the characters. But every time I think I'm so sick of this genre, something cool comes out. World War Z, like that's why I was bored with it, because I'm so sick of zombies. I'm just bored with them. And then I went and saw that, and it doesn't play like a zombie movie to me at all. So I really, until maybe closer to the end, but it's just there's always a fresh perspective. It seems like. So in the 70s was all commentary, the 80s was all cheeky violence. 90s it kind of died down, and now it's definitely made a comeback the last decade. So there's always somewhere else they can take it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're really kind of branching out with it. We might be at that jump the shark moment, though. This might be the year of where the zombies kind of jump the shark. And I used that. What was it? What was the love story zombie movie that came out earlier this year?
Warm Bodies was good.
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying when you make a romance about zombies,
I get what you're saying.
You're kind of hitting the wall.
Oh,
I see what you're saying.
Shit.
I see what he's. Uh-oh, shit. Uh-oh.
Now I know where sci-fi is going to go next. Zombies jump the shark. The shark becomes a zombie. Zombie shark.
Laser zombie shark.
Fuck, that's going to be the
freaking
next,
laser beams on their heads.
Sci-fi movie.
Yep.
Sci-fi movie. Justin,
so,
are you?
But real quick, I mean, I'm not sick of them, but it scares me that we might be at that. We might be kind of crossing over into the line where it's not pertinent anymore.
Does it need to keep pushing boundaries for you guys to still be interested in it? I mean, like creating new ways, or would you be happy with it's just like the way The Walking Dead presents it, if it just never changed from there for the next decade?
Well, like you mentioned earlier, The Walking Dead is so much more than what's going on with the zombies. There's so much more story going on there.
But I'm saying if all properties continue that way, or is that okay for everybody, or do you need to have some different takes on it?
I wish they would go some different directions with zombies. I wouldn't mind seeing a historical film, maybe something during the Crusades that was a horror film that had zombies, or I don't know,
or maybe a president or something.
Well, it's like I don't know if I want zombies in space, but I would like to see zombies in a setting that is not, your average urban environment. They can do something different with it. A guy that I know wrote a book called Toothless about a guy during the Crusades who becomes a zombie. And that kind of idea appeals to me because it's taking a trope and putting it in an environment, a setting that I've not seen before. I wish films would kind of do that. But I'm not sick of zombies. I think if they've got talented people behind it, then it's all good. It's yeah.
The guy that wrote the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter also did Pride and Prejudice, and Prejudice in Zombies or something like that. So
you want to see that adapted?
I think there's talks of it.
Maybe that's the new direction. What were you going to say, Scott?
What I want to see is a little bit more of the aftermath of a zombie apocalypse. Like after the virus has been figured out and they've got the cure and everything, and kind of like how they kind of rebuild and start from scratch. Like I haven't read the book, but from what Justin has said and what some others have told me about World War Z is that story is told from a current perspective after that's all done.
The book is, yeah.
The book is like, okay, this is what happened. I would kind of like to see like a story based around how we overcame all that. Like we figured it out. We've got this thing cured. Now we're trying to rebuild the world or America or whatever. We still see some zombie stragglers now and then kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But like let's build some story about how we kind of went forth after this world catastrophe. I think that could be something interesting.
That's an interesting idea. I want to see more pets. You got all these dead people walking around. I never see any dead pets. Why?
ketchup-covered dogs in
Why
Resident Evil.
aren't they affected? That's what I'm saying. I want more pets, more Pet Cemetery, more.
No,
yeah.
no. The undead cat brought. No, I got that once. That's all I need.
That was pretty effed up. I'm not
I
gonna
don't
lie.
need any zombie Dobermans. Got that too.
If you guys have any zombie tidbits you want to send us, feel free to email us and we'll read it on the next show. We do have some comments on Facebook, so I'm going to go over those. Brad P. says, favorite movie is the original Dawn of the Dead, and my favorite kill is Captain Rhodes getting torn apart in Day of the Dead. You guys remember that?
Mm-mm.
That was fucked up.
Yeah.
Go watch it. I recommend it. D.H. Haney, honestly, some of the best zombie kills I've seen and enjoyed most are from Season 3 of The Walking Dead. I can't recall my specific top kills at the moment, but I know Michonne and Daryl had my favorite ones. And Sean M. said, I like 28 Days Later. Best zombie kills come from Walking Dead. So apparently people really like The Walking Dead. I hear it's popular.
Katana is a must.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, before we get the email, let's read the. Before we get the emails, let's do Facebook. We're on the Facebook likes, and before we get the emails,
That's like watching Leon Lett just keep kicking that fucking football across the snow. Just can't stop himself.
All right, before we get the emails, let's do Facebook. For all new Facebook likes, like we said last week, we mentioned those on the show, and that's at facebook.com/The Hollywood Outsider. So, like us on Facebook, we'll mention you next week. Fuck all of you. Not you guys that liked us, these guys here. Shane Harrington, Stephen Feldman, and Michelle Lyman, thanks for liking us. Dan Miranda? I don't know if I mentioned him last week, but there you go. And I'm sorry, these guys have me all flustered.
Maybe you could pronounce it with like a Scottish accent.
I love that. These guys have me all flat. And then you went with like a totally different
You mean
word.
do everything with a Scottish accent?
Say their names in a Scottish accent.
Shane Harrington, Stephen Feldman, Michelle Lyman.
Miranda.
I don't know what accent you're using,
I don't know,
but that
but
ain't Scottish.
That's not Scottish. I'm sorry. Let's go to emails, Justin.
All right. Well, the first one is from Tammy. She says, "Let's first say I'm not a complete comic book geek, but my mother loved Superman and the comic books, and she saw the Christopher Reeves Superman movies multiple times. It's one of her favorite movies. She was so disappointed about the Routh version, so when this came out, she called me and asked my opinion first, so she wouldn't waste her time." This is the closest to Reeves good, but completely different at the same time. Honestly, the only thing they had in common was the good looks. You'll enjoy, and yes, I will take you to see it. Now with that, Cavill is so fucking beautiful. It was almost distracting. I get that a lot too, so I hear you. His beauty aside, I think he brought a certain element of Clark, a more human side, because Reeves' version was different. I can't compare it the same way. And the two dads, Lord, I love both dads. Each had the same goal, protecting Clark and guiding him. And of course, she wanted to see more of Pa Kent like we did. Lastly, she says, yeah, the suit was different. And when I first saw stills of it, I was like, meh, but damn, could Cavill fill it out just right. Obviously, there's a theme going on with her. Sorry, in full-on swoon. I appreciate the comics because it was the foundation of the story, but I can see with just the basics, you can change that story into something deeper and meaningful. I'm a hoe, Tammy. P.S. I didn't prove this email because I'm at work. A nice dig to the man. So
Respect that.
Does she listen at work too?
I hope so. Scotty, I don't care where she listens. As long as she listens, thanks for listening.
I don't care if you even listen. Just download it.
Look at Brian.
Just want the numbers.
That's a corporate man right there.
We got a couple tweets as well. First off, this one comes from D.A. Cheney, who is obviously a fellow gamer. Props to you, D.A. Cheney. Thank you. She says, just thought of a villain who ruined an entertaining movie for me. The elemental forest god in Hellboy 2. What was that mess? On the same token, though, while other creatures of the Hellboy 2 movie were very cool, what was with Gas Bag Man, Johann Kraus?
I kind of agree with that. Those were the elemental forest god was a horrible villain in a good movie, my opinion.
I thought
he wasn't even really. I mean, he was to me, a villain really has to be the end battle guy. It's not some midway through the film dude.
Obviously, you didn't see Spider-Man 3 because everybody's a villain in that one.
That's true.
Yeah, I think Stan
that
Lee
movie
was
a fucking villain.
Stan Lee was a villain.
Sam Raimi was the biggest villain in that
movie.
Amen.
We also got a tweet from Junebug Johnson. She says,
I love that name. Call me J-Bug.
Call me J-Bug. Junebug Johnson says, for the 100th episode, let's revisit the episode where Brian was wasted. Hashtag ho fave episode.
That was pretty fun. And Scott got all mad because he's like, why is it funny when Brian's drunk?
Yeah, when I do
I hate
it.
to say it, but Brian is funnier. Sorry. You just seem drunk.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
Well, yeah, I think good deal. All right. So we got one here from, who is this, Susan?
Yes.
Who is this?
Well, it just says F.
It just
It just says S.
That's my fault.
Yeah, okay. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yep.
All right. Greetings and salutations, boys. World War Z, whatever Drew Goddard and company did in that mulligan was 1,000% worth it. I was so dreading its release based on my affection for the book and the delays / rewrite / reshoot of the film. I almost didn't bother seeing it. All that drama had to mean a massive turd was coming, right? But they pulled it off magnificently. I just loved it. Loved it! It's a 10.
Wow.
This is the high... Yeah, big praise. This is the highest praise possible from the girl who wears the Batman symbol on the shock trauma plate in her ballistic vest.
Wow.
How awesome is that? I just got to say, she wears a shock trauma plate in her ballistic vest. That just,
Batman on it.
that, woo.
Talk about swooning.
Yeah.
need a
Brian,
moment?
you okay? You need a minute.
Yep. Pause it. No, I'm just kidding. Didn't think anything would ever trump the Dark Knight for me. I guess I need to get a UN symbol now or maybe an Israeli flag.
Ooh, she's saying that Trump Dark Knight. That's bold words.
Man, she really liked it.
I could write my praises for the next hour. They did so much, right? So as to not waste your time, I'm only going to mention one thing specifically. The female Israeli soldier, wow, that woman can act. She made you feel her pain. She was authentic. She was believable. She was perfectly written. To call back to a long ago Ho episode, that's exactly how Hollywood needs to handle strong female characters. They nailed it.
I agree with you. Absolutely.
Hope you guys saw it and enjoyed it even half as much as I did. Sue. P.S. I enjoy the rapping for whatever it's worth. Y'all are silly and adorable. Episode 100 should be all rap, no talk.
Oh, we should put that together. The Hollywood Outsider, the musical episode.
We're not Joss Whedon.
We can make it work. We can make it work.
Make it work. Like an architect. They build around the climb so erect. Skyscrapers look like Adams. Cubs like Johnson. Ruling and riding.
See, we've already got the first verse. Last email, yo hoes, what's this movie was the last castle? R.I.P. Well, that was very nice. Just want to write about VHS 2, which Brian reviewed last week, and say I mostly agree with Brian on this one, although I didn't hate it quite as much as him. I did really like the segment from the guys who directed the Blair Witch Project, minus the cliche ending, but the last segment was horrible and gave me a headache. I give it a 4 out of 10. And a similar... That doesn't sound like too much more praise, honestly. I think. What'd you give?
He loved it twice as much as I did.
Yeah. On a similar note, I've been sick of zombie movies and found footage movies for the last few years. But goddamn, I love the Wreck series. I saw the first one when it came out recently, I saw the first one when it came out, but recently caught the 2 sequels. Fuck you, Hollywood, for the shitty remake. Rant over. Thanks, Brad P. I have not seen that, but now I really want to.
Yeah, I haven't seen those either, but I've kind of heard similar comments from a number of different people who've kind of say the same thing. You know, I'm tired of this, but I like this series. So
Didn't what the fuck's her name? Dexter's sister, Deborah, whoever plays her, didn't she star in the remake of the first Wreck film, in the U.S. remake?
I think so. I think she was in it. Yeah. I think so. I'll have to check that out. The originals, not the remake. Stay through the credits for outtakes. TheHollywoodOutsider.com is our website. It's only a podcast website. We're not a constantly updated news site. Twitter is H_outsider. We already told you. Facebook. Leave us a message or text us at 818-814-6426. Our email is feedback@TheHollywoodOutsider.com, as well as you can listen and subscribe for free. There's no charge. On iTunes, listen on your Stitcher Radio app, or through our RSS feed. Rockford College Radio every Thursday from 4 to 6. Thanks to each of the podcasters. Brian Williams, who apparently does not want to be known as a zombie file.
there you go again. You're just going way too far.
I'm sorry. What do you want to be known for? Musicals? You want to take Scott's place?
No. I'll stick with not being a zombie file.
Okay. Justin McCumber, who's
Being a pedophile.
Whoa. Justin McCumber. That went to a really different place. Who's a Minor Magic is available now on Amazon, paperback, Audible, and Kindle. Thanks, Justin.
Is pedophile changing up too much for this show?
I don't know. I stay away from that word.
It comes up a lot.
250 yards. That's what I was
That's what
told.
she said.
Scott Clark, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And remember, guys, if you want to be part of our joint, send us your favorite moments of the Ho to feedback@thehollywoodillustrated.com. Tell us what your favorite parts are.
And please call and text us. We've gotten like one.
Somebody did call and left a message, but there was nothing there. So I assume it was you when you were drunk.
No, it was not me.
Nah, you probably
But thanks for the assumption.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for that, guys. If you guys want to leave a voicemail and tell us your favorite parts, you can do that too. Just call the number. 818-814-6426. And remember, next week we are going to have a little mini episode, but mostly it'll be a clip show. And then 2 weeks from this episode, we will have the 100th episode of The Hollywood Outsider. Do you guys feel like you've accomplished something? Or are you just...
I'm amazed iTunes even, or Apple even lets us post it anymore, to be honest with you.
You thought by this point they just would have got rid of us?
I figured they're like, let's get this shit off iTunes. We got a rep.
Surprised Scotty's still here.
I was waiting for it.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, man.
Well, technically he hasn't been here 100 episodes. So, he had the whole
none of
Smiggle
us
thing.
have.
Yeah.
Not even Brian.
That's true. You dropped
God,
out
that
that
hurts.
one time.
That hurts. That cuts deep.
Mm-hmm. It should. Fucking son of a bitch. All right, guys. Well, remember the next time. Did you really just bring up Bryan Adams?
I don't know why.
Next time you go to the theater, buy popcorn.
No, negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
I still miss Goose. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, he caught it.
Boom, boom, boom.
Wow, thing. All right, now let's go to the couch where we talk about, and apparently you have cocktails. We talk about
God, I farted. Oh, my mic didn't catch that.
That was your ass? It sounded like a bottle cap.
Well, that was somebody else.
Yeah, that was a bottle
fart
cap,
bottle
actually.
caps.